search and rescue story with the swing of a lasso. Storm drains and gutters filled with oil. Amber McDonald heard the doorbell ring. There are 7 snowplows here in Midvale City. For wedding photographers, that means there are 50 gambling machines here in this evidence room. The semi-truck driver was driving into the storage units here to be used to find any suspects, then brought it to this window where they then broke in. The park manager noticed something in this area about 6 years ago, but it wasn't until the high winds blew through this weekend that he uncovered this. Crystal caught the world's attention in August as she walked the streets of Kabul, Afghanistan, openly protesting the Taliban. Getting her here to Utah was no small feat. And now that she's here, Crystal says she hopes to use her freedom to save those left behind. English books and online school, pieces of Crystal Byatt's new life.
I love to learn English as my native language.
Right.
Yeah, and it was my dream.
The 24-year-old has been living this dream for a month now.
Life is beautiful with people in Utah.
Beautiful, but bittersweet.
On 15 August, the Taliban take over Kabul, and that day, all my dreams died. Not only mine, but the dreams of million women in Afghanistan died.
Crystal was there in Kabul, Afghanistan, when the Taliban took over.
I decided to talk with Taliban face to face.
And with such determination, Crystal walked the streets on Afghanistan's Independence Day, draped in her country's flag. She was the first woman to stand against the Taliban. Crystal is lucky to be alive.
I never wanted to leave Afghanistan, but I had no choice. It was very hard time to make a decision. When I saw the people who fell from plane, I fell with them too. So in order to build again a democratic Afghanistan, I had to make this decision to be out of Afghanistan.
Leaving everything behind to start building life here in Utah, Crystal plans to pursue her PhD and write her own book about her people.
I want to raise the voice of Afghan women who cannot be here. My heart would always be in Afghanistan. But I promise for the people of Afghanistan to work for them, to serve for them.
There's not much that can stop Mark and Jerry Jorgensen from enjoying their lives.
Hi! Yay!
The St. George couple goes mountain biking 4 to 5 times a week and are planning their first trip out of the country since last year.
I'd say I have a little nervousness.
Nervous because they have to test negative for COVID-19 before returning, and they are still seeing the effects from the last time they traveled.
And so I go back to my gym, to my Pilates class, and then I get a call from the manager of the gym, says we don't want you to come back.
Jerry says she's even received death threats on social media.
You come here, we will kill you. I think that's kind of a death threat. So the sheriff, Washington County, he called me and he says, you put my number on speed dial because I know about these threats.
All because Mark and Jerry were the first few from Utah to contract the coronavirus while vacationing on the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan. The couple was selected for testing on the cruise because Mark is considered high risk from kidney transplants. They didn't think Jerry would be the one to test positive.
Kind of got real in that moment. They had this printed sheet and just handed it to us and says, because of your test results, you'll be taken off the ship.
Jerry was driven in an ambulance to Fukushima, 4 hours away. No one spoke English.
Some people were actually quite appalled that I would have the audacity to get off and go back to America while my wife was in a hospital in Japan.
Well, did you have much choice?
I kind of did. I mean, even if I could go to the hospital, we wouldn't see each other.
One airplane.
A cargo plane is what brought Mark and 170 others back from their cruise. He had not tested positive, but Mark believes it was on that flight home that he got COVID.
Okay, we are 9 hours into the flight.
Not something I'd want to repeat.
Once back in the States, Mark tested positive. He wasn't showing any symptoms, which was a huge factor in the decision to transfer Mark to a biocontainment unit here in Utah.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be with you again.
Do I really sound like that?
Yes.
Geez, that's weird.
Here I am in a Japanese hospital. I don't know the name of it. None of the doctors speak English. We communicate with an iPad.
Although they were continents apart, the couple says they never felt truly alone.
When I got that clearance that I could leave the Japanese hospital, and they stood out, and I got in the Uber, and we had to go down a ways before we made the turn, and they just kept waving. And it reminded me of my mom. It was so sweet. And, they just stood there and kept waving, and they were crying, and I was crying, and that was really spiritual, and it was so heartfelt. And if I hadn't have gone through it, I wouldn't have ever experienced anything like that.
Sweet memories amidst the chaos of their trip.
Come on in, special guest. Okay, yay!
Hi.
It's my lovely wife, Jerry.
Did you hug when you first saw each other?
couldn't.
You could.
They told us not to.
We were
We should
like I
have.
said, we were more compliant. I was out mountain biking first morning I got back.
Back home and back to life as they knew it. Well, almost.
I've got this brain fog happening.
That and Mark says he's been having issues with his vision.
The nerves from my eye to the brain are kind of squished. It is affecting my peripheral vision that my eye doctor is convinced is due to COVID.
Yet, in spite of it all, not even COVID-19 could stop the Jorgensens from living life to the fullest.
Life itself is a calculated risk.
We always can choose in whatever circumstance we're in. We almost have choice. We can choose fear, we can choose love.
Going to school can be pretty rough if you're
6 or 4.
But for these two sisters, there's someone who makes the walk a bit easier.
She makes our day every day.
She's really changed the way that our mornings have been.
Someone the kids call Sergeant Officer.
Yeah!
That's what she goes by, yes. She was in the military.
Denise Officer spent 22 years serving as a staff sergeant in the Utah Guard, the Army Guard, and Air Guard.
Veterans are the treasure of this country. Wow. But to me also, the children are the treasure of this world.
Sergeant Officer now serves her community on the corner of 26th and Monroe Boulevard as a crossing guard.
This corner is the happy corner. What kind of day are you gonna have? A great day!
Seeing her here on the corner doing what she loves to do with these children was just heartwarming to me.
A salute to police officers and military.
Woo! Yeah!
A wave and hello to those passing by.
Hi, guys!
And the kids started giving back as well.
Oh my gosh! I got a Dr. Pepper and muffins. It doesn't get better than that.
My daughters here decided that they wanted to buy her some flowers with their chore money.
I thought it would be nice to buy it to her, and it would make her happy and me happy.
Smile and wave. See?
Who would have thought some of the most important lessons
And Bullet. Hi, sweet.
would come on the way to school?
This experience and these people have touched my life. Woo! On, Dad! Yeah!